Today we're going to be focusing on the neck. I titled today's session Necksploration. You'll need a set of yoga therapy balls, as well as a block or a couple thick books to place the balls on top of. And we're going to start with the balls in the tote, or if you don't have a tote, place them in a sock and band it up so they stay nice and snug together. And then you're going to lie on your back. Balls go right on top of that block or that support. And then you're just going to lie down, placing the balls right at the ridge of the head. And make sure they're high enough that they don't start to fall down. As they start to roll down, you'll feel the head go back and these go into the neck. Remember, these are at the base of the head, not in the neck yet. So we're just doing a little reset right here. So let the arms come down by your sides. Let the shoulders rest back to the floor. Let the palms turn open from the shoulder blades and shoulders. And then the knees can go however you like. They can stay bent just like this. You can let the soles of the feet come together and come to a little cobbler's pose. Or you could even let the legs go long if that feels good for you. Wherever you feel like you can relax, allow yourself to find that spot. Just take a few breaths here. Allow yourself to arrive into the sensations of your body, letting go of the mind, what you just came from and what you have waiting. And just prepare yourself to explore your body, explore your breath. By listening to the feels or the sensations of your body for the next 40 minutes or so. Today's session, we're going to focus on the neck. So as we begin, just notice what sensations are rising in the head, maybe the back of the head as they rest on the balls, through the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, the front of the neck and the throat. What does it feel like underneath the jawline? How does the jaw feel? Are you clenching? If so, can you let the teeth and the lips part to allow the mouth to also be at ease? How do the shoulders feel? The tops of the shoulders, the backs of the shoulders, the fronts of the shoulders. Notice whatever sensations are rising and use the sensations to ask some questions. How am I right now? And what does my body need right now for this practice? So keep allowing the head to become a little bit more heavy as it rests over the balls. Keep the jaw relaxed. Even close your eyes. And take 3 more deep breaths wherever you are. Allowing the head to sink a little deeper. The exhale to become a little longer. And the body to shift from the thinking mind to the feeling state of the body. And when you're ready, slowly release the balls. Remove, let the head just rest on the block or the book for a minute. And then just notice how your head feels. Feel the weight of your head sinking down. And then as you're ready, bend your knees or return your feet to the floor, wherever you are. And then turn to your side. And we're gonna come right into the side of the neck to begin. And just so you know, if at any time you have any questions, feel free to turn your camera on, and I can give you some assistance from that visual feedback, or if you have me to ask questions. But to begin, you're gonna stay on your side, and we're gonna come right to the side of the neck. I'm gonna show you first. And we're gonna come right behind this big muscle, the sternocleidomastoid. So you can see it kind of runs from behind the ear right towards the top of the collarbone. So we want to stay behind this muscle to stay out of the vasculature in the neck, which runs more in the front of that muscle and a little bit under the muscle. So you're going to lie on your side. And you're going to bring your therapy ball on top of the block or on top of the books right to behind your ear, just at the edge of the occiput. So the same area that you were just in, but a little bit more to the side, behind that meaty muscular area. And then we're just going to begin by shaking the head no. And you're just going to roll along the base of the cranium. So you're right at the edge of where the skull meets the neck. Very gently exploring that area by turning the head. And then if you find a place of sensation, pause there. Take a couple breaths. And notice how you're meeting that sensation. Meet it with ease, with kindness. Try not to push it away and say, oh, I want to scrub you out or get rid of you. But welcome the sensation. All sensations are messages. They're like thoughts. The thoughts are from our brain that tell us what's going on in our brain. But the sensation are like the thoughts of the body. Our body thinks in the feelings. So meet those sensations and see what state your neck is in right now. And meet yourself right where you are. And keep rolling by shaking the head no very gently. And then when you find the next spot of sensation across that line at the base of the head, behind your sternocleidomastoid or that meaty muscle right here, try nodding the chin. What happens when you bring your chin down towards your throat and then you look up? Try a little nod. And we're behind the ear in the space where the head meets the neck. So right at the border of the skull as it rests on the neck. First, trying to get that junction where the head sits on the neck so that we can get the head to move freely. Hi, May, welcome. If it's okay with you, I'm gonna mute you just so there's no feedback, okay? Feel free to unmute yourself at any time if you have any questions. And I will also keep the chat open if there are questions as well. And now that we've freed up that space right where the head and neck meet, let's move down into the neck a little bit. So still behind that bulky musculature area, coming off of the base of the head into the upper part of the neck. And you might find that you find a couple little zingy type points in here that feels a little bit more intense, the sensation, as you move down into the neck, probably, or possibly. Wherever you are, listen to your body and meet that sensation. So now I'll show you in the camera just a little bit better where I am. I'm right around here now, so in the upper half of the neck, behind the big sternocleidomastoid meaty muscle of the neck. And then I'm just going to sustain some pressure in there for a minute. If you find that this pressure is too intense, a larger ball could work. A softer ball could work. I have a few different air-filled balls. So for people that are newer to rolling, sometimes a softer ball, like this gorgeous ball, or I have another more squishy ball, could be more sustainable. If you don't have that, you could also take a blanket or a towel over the ball. That will broaden the sensation and soften it as well. Make sure that nothing is going numb, you're not losing sensation as you're here. And then now in this spot, see what happens as you do that little roll again. And as you roll, you're gonna butt up against that musculature in the front. So kind of come right to the edge of where you meet that meaty musculature of the neck. And then maybe once you come onto another tender spot, do a few nods here. Whatever you're doing, keep breathing. Use your breath to facilitate the release. Nice long exhales, even sighing out through the mouth. So everyone, wherever you are at the moment, just take a deep breath and sigh it out. Maybe continue with the nodding. And then slide down just a little bit. So now you're more in the middle of the neck. Really try to let the weight of your head rest over the therapy ball so that you're not holding it up. You'll notice the upper part of the neck starting to ache or hurt or feel strained if you're using the upper part of the neck to unweight yourself. So just sustain compression to begin, just meeting the sensation in the side of the neck, now in the middle of the portion of the neck. And then maybe get a little nod, and as you roll your chin down, you'll bump up against your sternocleidomastoid again. That's the edge of where we're rolling at the moment. And then at any time, reposition the ball, find that point that's speaking to you. Listen to the message of the body, and then maybe try nodding the head. So we're using the head as the driver for these releases. That's why we freed the head up on the neck first, so that we could use the head kind of like a lever. And wherever you are, pause, take a deep breath. Exhale, sigh it out, let the head be really heavy. And then let's find one more place along the side of the neck. So now down a little bit lower towards that angle of where the neck and shoulder meet. Still behind the sternocleidomastoid, so not in the front of the neck, so that we stay out of the vasculature. And then again, you might find that you're able to roll a little bit more here in these segments. You can look up towards the sky a little bit more. For women, if you have longer hair, having it up is definitely preferable for this. Then at any time, find stillness and sustain compression and breathe into where the body and the ball meet. You can keep with the rotation, or you can try a little nod. And you'll notice as you move lower, you feel like you have a lot more rotation because those segments above now are able to all move and move more freely. And then pause. Just take a couple breaths. And then release. Remove the ball. And let's turn to the other side. You can flip right over, or you can come through sitting and then move the block to the other side. If you do come through sitting, a nice thing might be to tip your head to one side and then tip your head to the other, and just notice the difference. Don't worry about how far it goes. Just feel, how far can I bend to one side? And then how far can I bend to the other? And you'll notice it feels probably quite different. So here we go, other side. Ball starts right at the base of the head. So at the bottom of the skull, you're behind the ear, that bony point of the ear, and you're just traversing along the base of the skull, where the skull sits on the neck, getting into the suboccipital muscles, freeing up the base of the skull sitting on the neck. So now we can use the head as the lever as we progress down the neck. So we'll do that by rotating the head like a little no. Very slowly, just like you're rocking. Try to let the whole weight of your head rest onto your therapy ball. Like I said, if it feels a little too intense, you could try putting a towel or a blanket over it if you don't, or you could use a larger ball or an air-filled ball versus a dense ball. Wherever you are, just make sure you're breathing deeply. If you find that you start efforting and start tightening your musculature, just pause. Take a deep breath. Let the head be heavy and let the weight of the head do the work. So really, you want to do as little bit as possible. Just let the head roll over the ball, and gravity and the weight of your head are doing everything. Think about doing as little work as possible. When you find a spot of sensation, maybe change that no to a nod and yes, and see what happens. Feel what's happening where the body meets the ball. Also feel into the rest of your body. Where are you tensing? How can you make yourself 10% more comfortable wherever you are? Allowing the ball to gently make its way deeper into the body, creating space and mobility where the head sits on the neck. Doing all of this with curiosity and kindness. So not efforting or forcing or pushing into pain. Part of this work is meeting yourself right where you are and learning those barriers in your body. Learning to listen to the body and not push past the sensation that it's giving us. This work can be more transformational than doing manual work or massage type work because it teaches you to listen. And it teaches you to understand your body a little bit better. So how you can improve your pain, how you can improve your ability, mobility. How you can ask your body, what do I need right now? And when you feel like you've done enough at the base of the head and that head is moving freely on the neck, move the ball down slightly. So now that you're in that like top third of the neck, you're behind the meaty sternocleidomastoid muscle that runs from behind the ear down towards the collarbone. And if you rotate the head no, you'll bump up against it as the chin goes down. So as you bump up against that muscle, that dense kind of meaty area, that's your stopping point. Because with this weight, we don't want to roll into the front of the neck. I'm repeating myself a lot because this is a very tender, sensitive area. A lot of us have neck pain or end up with neck problems from too much work or car accidents or overactivity. So it's an area to be very gentle, very sensitive, and over cautious of. So stay behind that musculature area. As the chin goes down, you'll just bump up against it. We will get into the front of the neck in another minute or so. And then if you feel like you're able to roll smoothly, now see what happens if you nod. Again, we're in the upper third of the neck, towards the side of the neck, maybe a little bit off to the backs. If the chin tips down, you'll hit a muscular area. So make sure you stay in the muscular area. And then when you feel ready, move down towards the middle of the neck now. So right in the side of the neck, let the weight of the head rest over the ball. And make sure you have enough propping up underneath you that you feel like the head can stay about neutral. If your prop is too small, I'm not going to get any pressure. And the bottom side of my neck is going to be front.
Yeah, they still should have like a budget. Like they have like a 2020 budget. Every year they're changing the budget.
Hi, Jean, welcome. So ball is in the middle of the neck again, making sure that it's propped up high enough. You're not going to feel anything if it's too low. So continuing to nod or gently rock the head no. As the chin goes down, just coming into where you feel that muscular wall and then allowing the ball to rock back. Exploring the side territory of the neck. This is kind of like the abdominals of the neck a little bit. And then when you feel like you're moving freely and the sensation has subsided in that location, let's find one more location, moving down more towards that angle of still on the side of the neck, but where the neck and the shoulder, closer to where the neck and the shoulder meet. And you'll find that as you move, and your head then might rest on the block or on the book. And you'll find that you probably have a little bit more mobility as you move down the neck, because now all those upper segments can move. First, rocking the head no, or just sustaining compression. If you find yourself tensing with the movement or over-efforting with the movement, really using the neck muscle, you're not doing yourself any good because you're tightening against something you're trying to soften or to ease. So maybe just pause, take a few breaths in to where the neck and the ball meet. And take about 3 more breaths wherever you are. And wherever you are, just allow the head to be heavy. Sighing out. Letting the weight of the head do the work. And then remove the ball. Make your way back up to sit. And we'll follow that up with a little stretch, a little contract, relax stretch to help further facilitate relaxation of those muscles. If you were sitting on the floor and you have your block or have a book and you want to feel a little more height or feel a little more comfortable, if you don't have a chair nearby, you can sit up on your block. Let go of the ball for a moment. And let's all begin by tipping our head to the right. Without any efforting, just allow gravity to pull the head to the right. Now, the left arm is going to reach down towards the floor. If you are sitting in a chair, you can hold on to the bottom of the chair. You may even hold your block if you're sitting on a block or a book. And then feel how that pulls the shoulder down. So now shoulders going one way, head's going the other way. You should feel a nice pull. Now, your right hand, the side you're tipping towards, is going to rest like a paperweight, just the weight of the arm on top of the head. Don't yank with the hand, just hold right there. Take a deep breath into the side of the neck where you're feeling that pulling. Be really careful to notice, are you turning your head or are you tipping your head up or down? Try to find neutral. You may even do just a little nod and a little turn so that you find that just right spot of sensation. Like if I turn my head up just a little bit, I get just a little bit more sensation. And then if I tip my chin towards my throat, it elongates the back of the neck just a little, so I get a little bit more. And now we're going to add a contraction. So what you're going to do is you're going to provide resistance with your right hand, your top hand. So it's going to be like a tug of war. Your head and your right hand are going to push into one another. And as you push into one another, you're going to contract this muscle right here. And I want you to hold that contraction. 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. And as you release, keep your left hand reaching down and then allow the right ear to come towards the right shoulder. Feel the stretch a little bit more intensely. Again, little tug of war. Press the head and hand into one another. So my head's pushing up and my hand's pushing down. And as a result, I'm not moving, but I feel the neck contracting underneath my hand along the left side of my neck. So I'm activating the left side musculature now. And then I'm relaxing. Leaning into the stretch. Because after contraction comes relaxation. So we're deepening the relaxation by turning the musculature on so that then after contracting, we can get it to turn off. One more time. That contraction's really subtle. So little squeeze, pushing the head back up towards neutral. It's only about 40% of your effort. And then relax. This left hand can stay reaching down towards holding the side of a chair, reaching the fingertips towards the floor, holding onto your block. Or I just decided, I think that will feel really nice if I wrap my hand behind my back. Find what variation feels best for you. And wherever you are, take 4 more deep breaths. Elongating the exhale, focusing on dropping the ribs and dropping the shoulders as you exhale. 2 more breaths. And then slowly let go of the top hand. Bring your top hands now to your underside ear and use your hand to bring the head back towards neutral. And then just allow the sensation to subside. You may still feel a pretty strong pull on the left side of the neck. As you come back to neutral, you may even feel a throbbing or a flushing. Maybe just gently moving the head around. Maybe rolling the shoulders, just notice how you feel. And then switching sides. Right hand now comes down to the floor. Fingertips tent on the floor. Hold whatever you're sitting on. Reach that right shoulder down. Now tip the head to the left. First, just let gravity do the work. Start to feel the gentle pulling. It might not even feel like there's a stretch yet. It might just feel, you might just notice an elongation. Take a breath there to register those sensations. And then take your left hand like a paperweight without yanking or pulling on the top of the head, with the fingers wrapping towards the right ear. And just notice the sensation intensify without pushing. Just feel the weight of the hands and the weight of gravity increasing the stretch a little bit. And then gently, as you're ready, press the head into your hands. So you're tipping your head back towards the right, like you're trying to bring it back up towards neutral. And then release. As you release, you might find that, you just ease into that bend a little bit more. Keep the right fingertips and the right hand reaching down. Exhale fully. And then after that, press your head back up towards neutral. So a little tug of war between your head and your hands. You're trying to press your head back up and you're pushing down equally with the hand. And then release, coming a little more deeply into your side bend stretch. And then let's do that one more time. Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining, Gabe. You can just join in. I'm going to mute you so there's no feedback, but feel free to ask any questions. You can unmute yourself to ask questions or join the chat. Last time, pushing up, a little tug of war between the head and neck. And then after about 7 seconds, coming into that fullest side bend, letting the left ear be heavy towards the left shoulder as the right fingertips reach down. And then take your top hand, your left hand, bring it to the left ear now on the underside and use that hand to bring your head back towards neutral. Let the sensation subside. Just feel a flushing or a throbbing, maybe a little zing. You might notice more sensation in the sides of the neck now. And maybe you just try that again, tipping side to side, and notice how different it feels than the first time you did it. And as you reorient to center, I'll show you what we'll be doing next. This is a great thing to be doing in a class because it's very different. It's something that we don't do often, and you'll notice that probably when you get massages, people don't often come into the throat and the front because there's a lot of area that's very sensitive there that we need to protect. So we're going to take the ball today and we're going to just move the ball on our skin and we're twisting it so that we're kind of taking up the slack. Like you'll notice if you twist your skin, it takes up the slack. So just like that, I kind of grab and twist with the ball. And it's not a lot of resistance. And I'm going to start by going right under the jawline. And then I'm going to come down into the throat and along the top of the collarbones. And you can just follow along. We're going to go along the bottom of the jaw. So just twist until you feel a little tension. And then twist until you feel a little tension. This place right underneath the chin is a really great spot to get. It's a great area to explore yourself. Go really gentle. And then if you're turning the ball one way, maybe go back along the jawline, turning the ball the other way. Right underneath the jaw. Like I said, great spot to get. This area here is so important for vocalization, swallowing, digestion, speech. Keeping our throat open so that we can breathe deeply. So now I'm moving off of my jawline and I'm going down the side of the throat. So not on the throat, I'm not on the trachea, but I'm kind of right on the side of it. And in this upper area right here, you have your hyoid bone, which has lots of attachments. Really critical spot. So gently twisting along the front of the neck, working your way down towards the collarbone. Staying outside the central throat area, and then maybe even along the top of the collarbone, twisting the ball. This is a great way to start rolling if there's anywhere that's too sensitive. So this is a space that I like to really show this method. Then come to the other side. So I'm going to go along the side of the throat, out the collarbone, right in here. Oh. Did you lose? Oh, sorry. That was my fault. I don't know. Okay. Oh, here we go. My battery started to go. That's why we lost video. Oops. Okay, I'm back. One more minute here. Then we'll move on to that everyone's favorite part in the upper traps. We'll end with a really nice upper trap release. And now open and close your jaw after doing that. You may find that, oh, wow, my mouth opened so much. Then maybe even tip your head back. You might feel yourself go further. You may even feel different stretches that you haven't felt before through the throat as we loosen some of that area. So that's something nice to try. We'll also keep the skin nice and elastic in the front part of our neck. Now we'll move into everybody's favorite part. So I want to come and finish our session doing the upper traps because that's what everybody always wants. Like, let's get those upper traps. So this is one of my favorite rolls. And if you come to some of my other classes, you might have done it before. As if you're going to squeeze the top of your shoulders, or if you wanted someone to come up to you and squeeze your shoulders, that's right where the balls are going to go. We're going to take them separately right here. And now we're going to lie down on our backs. Please take your block or your books right nearby because your hips are going to go up on there. So as you lie down on your back, use your hands to place those balls right into the meaty part of the neck. Right at that turn where the shoulder and the neck meet. As you lie on it, you probably won't feel too much. So just arrive there, kind of get them into the just right spots. You're not on the spine. The balls are slightly apart from one another, right in that L, and they're in the musculature. Now we'll increase the sensation into there. Take your block or books or whatever you have, cushion, bolster, place the hips up in the air. Now, oh, you'll notice that you really start to get some more sensation into there now. And if you find that you have to adjust, go ahead. Let your head be really heavy. And then now, take your arms up towards the sky first. Let the shoulder blades drop back towards the floor. And then bring the arms up overhead. And as you bring the arms up overhead, you'll notice how that compresses right over and around the balls. And then now just like arms in a gentle circle, like the fingertips touch, or whatever position's comfortable for you, allow the arms to become heavy overhead. Now we're just going to let time and gravity and this position create a release to the upper traps. So find stillness, allow yourself to stay a while, and then take some deep breaths in and out. As you exhale, focus on dropping the chest towards the floor. Maybe even sighing out. And if you feel like you're efforting, ask yourself, how can I make myself 10 or 15% more comfortable to allow myself to sustain this position? Continue breathing. Nice long exhales through the mouth, allowing your rib cage to sink, allowing the body to be heavy with gravity, letting go of any muscular effort. In this particular ball stop, in this particular technique, we're letting time be the driver for release. Here we're in what we call a positional release, where we shorten that muscle, compress the muscle, reset the muscle length, kind of like resetting the stretch of a rubber band. Just let all the stress from the neck and the top of the shoulders flow out to the floor. Let it flow out your hands right into the floor as you take 3 more breaths. And then reach the arms up overhead. Now make the arms active. Just like we did in that stretch while we were sitting, we're going to do the contract, relax again here. So squeeze your shoulders up toward your ears. Feel the increased tightness underneath the balls. Hold that contraction for about 7 seconds. And then release. Let's do that 2 more times. Squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. Feel the contraction underneath the balls. It's almost like the musculature pushes the balls out of the body. And then release. Last time, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. And then release. Now let's just do a couple big arm circles. Take the arms, cross them along the body like you're giving yourself a hug, and let them unfurl at the top and come down and around. Do this about 4 or 5 more times, maybe circling in one direction and then circle in the other, just flossing the arms. Whatever feels good. Last time, maybe it's even just snow angels up and down, sweeping the arms along the floor. And then allow them to be still. Lift your hips to remove the block. Remove the balls from the back of the neck. Allow your head to be really heavy as you rest on the earth. Pause. Allow any sensation to subside, melting into the floor. Taking about 3 more breaths to let go of any tension. Any last bit of holding or tightness. With each exhale, allow it to release. Taking a moment to thank yourself for taking this time for self-care, for listening to what your body has to say. And then when you're ready, roll to your side, press yourself up to sit. And take one more deep letting go breath. Feeling the change in your breath, the change in your body. And the change in your mind. Remember to take this time out to take care of yourself. Thanks for joining.